All right, it's still the program this morning on ITV. It's now time for our first discussion. This morning we shall be looking at the 2023 election and politics of blackmail and matter arising as the atmosphere is already hitting already in preparation for the general election come 2023. We've seen so many persons indicating interest to run for various offices, presidential, governorship, the House of Representatives, the Senate, even down there in the states. We already have candidates, and this morning we have one in the studio with me. She is Mariam Sadu Mohammed. She's a politician and APC aspirant for the House of Representatives, and she shall be looking at the matters arising as regard to 2023 election. A very good morning to you, ma'am.
Morning. My pleasure to be here.
All right, let's start on this note. What's the chances of women in 2023 elections?
Chances of women lead. And
looking at all the various offices that we're seeing people
good morning,
for.
viewers. Yes, 2023. I want to say that is a U-turn year, where women will be dominant in governance. We've been silent. We've been watching the men do their work. We are not in competition with them, but we also want to showcase our own capability. And I think it's just our time. You will see women more in governance 2023.
Well, you sound so optimistic here,
yeah.
But we've seen women, should I say, shy away when it comes to issue of politics. Actually, during the election period, they tend to vote for the men folks rather than the women folks. Why is that always playing out?
Yeah, before we have this fear that they believe that the men are they are the leaders. So we believed in them, we trusted them, we've given them enough opportunity, and it's now time to also show them that we can do the work that we have been voting them into. But it's no longer business as usual, I assure you.
So why are women, I am so particular about women not showing interest in their own persons? Is it that your campaigns, women who are vying for position, do not go down to the grassroots movement to actually do what the men are doing, or is it the money politics that's playing out here?
Now you've hit, that's the word, the money politics.
But we have women who are also very, very influential in the society.
Influential or rich. There are two words here, influential or rich, or have the money to be able to vie for such position. We only have women who are influential, who can speak, but they are not given the opportunity. Well, with our good leadership today, that's in the chairmanship level, I'm believing that both parties or all the parties will bring out women. They will give them the opportunity. And thank God they've started by making it free. Forms are free for women, and they are giving everybody a fair play, to be able to play, to put on the table what he or she can give. Let them give us the opportunity, and you will see. But women not voting for women, I think it's all about the money business. During politics, the men have a way of using the women to talk to the women, how to vote for them by paying them. Because women don't have that. But now we have had enough of this oppression, enough of this degradation. And we want to just come out. If they give us this opportunity, they will be amazed.
So how do we begin to sensitize women to get them out of that belief that the men who have the money should be voted into power?
Actually, that's what is ongoing now. We're trying to sensitize women, especially the grassroots, who are mostly the people who come out to vote anyway, that it's not all about money. It's not all about that peanut they give to you.
You see them rushing out to get
wrappers
and
get
salt.
Wrappers, get salt, get Maggi, get some peanuts that will only last you for a week, maximum, let's say. Let me exaggerate, a week. But after a week, you are done. And this same person you have voted for will be there for 4 years. So you will continue to be a slave. You will continue to be under that hardship for another 4 years for peanuts. We're trying to sensitize them on that, because I think the reason Mainly it's because there's poverty in the society. So the moment you call, and who are those who bother about, who are affected mostly by this poverty is women, because they are the mothers, they have 3, 4 kids to cater for, so they can do anything to get money to go home and feed their children. But we are trying to see that they change this belief that this peanut given to them today will solve their problem for 4 years. So we're doing our
Now,
best.
if a woman should be on the front burner of politics in this country,
Yeah.
maybe the president's governorship or any particular level, what do you think are the impacts women are going to bring into governance in this country?
Like I said, if you know, there's this idea that without a woman, there's no home. And you as a father or a homemaker, right, a home leader, you know without your wife, you cannot succeed. I'm assuring you that if women are in governance, especially in the House, Senate, they will change the narration that we're experiencing today, because they will be vocal. We are the ones that the whole heat has really hit on most. We are the ones that have seen our children die. We are the ones that have seen women in labor killed, kidnapped, and so on. So we should be able to speak, because we are more sensitive than the men. I'm sorry to say that, but we are more sensitive than the men. The men can sleep over some things, but not the women. And then they are going to speak like never before. I assure you.
You know, the family folks is not as large as the entire population of a country.
But no, it's
carrying
not as large, but it's the same. Because if you can, if you have a man who can manage his home, and you give him leadership, I can assure you that he will do well. But a man who cannot manage his home, it all starts from home now. If you don't know what's happening in your home, in a little confine like your home, how can you know what's happening in maybe your local government or your state or your country? So it all starts from there. I'm telling you, I'm just giving an instance with the home, that we hold the home. We can also hold the society. We can hold the country, inshallah.
Now, you talked about women being vocal in probably in the National Assembly, in the House of State House of Representatives. We saw what played out with the affirmative right for women. Women were shut down. What do you think was responsible for that? Is it the population?
Because the men are more in the House of Assembly, House and Senate. They are all the ones there. So we have very few women who can struggle and
fight.
But
now
this.
You've gotten the victory from the Federal High Court for you to have that implemented. So
That's
what do
one
you think
step.
would this do for Nigerian politics?
That's one step to our success.
Okay.
That's one step. And I'm sure that when they give us that opportunity during the primaries, because they could just systematically ask us to all come on board, give us the ticket free as they have even proposed. At the end of the day, they know what they are doing. You understand? And they will still flush us out quietly. But if they will allow us play out the primaries the way it's supposed to, and we come out, I'm assuring you that we'll emerge victorious.
Well, we just believe that women will change the narrative in Nigerian politics. Now let's look at the presidential election. So many candidates have emerged, both the male and the female folks. From the very beginning, the declarations, there were anticipations who is not going to be contesting. Looking at the antecedent of those who have declared interest so far, are we going to be seeing a change of what we're having on ground, or the same leaders who we have before are the same kind of persons we're going to be experiencing come 2023?
Let me say there's going to be a change, because an average Nigerian is awoken from his slumber. It's no longer business as usual. It's not only on the folks, on women folks. Generally, everybody is awoken now. We've seen it, we've felt it. And now reality has really clearly spelled itself before our faces. The right candidate is very glaring. Do you understand? We need people who have passion for this country, who have passion for the progress of this country and economic in general, I think there's going to be a different politics, not this money bag issue, not this bribery, and because this money bag stuff is a step to bribery, is one type of bribery we don't understand.
So how do we begin to discourage that in Nigerian politics, and what should Nigerians be looking out for in a leader who they may want to elect come 2023?
A very intellectually sound human being should be what we look out for. A person with sympathy, God-fearing, a person with vision, positive for this country, a person who has been in the system, who knows the pains and the problems of Nigerians, a person who can go to the grassroots, interact personally and feel their pain, a person who rose not because of connection, but because of his intellectual capability. Already we have him. He's there.
So how do we discourage the money bag issue you talked about?
Well, you cannot discourage that in totality, but you can educate people to understand that if anybody gives you money, you should collect the money. But you should know that you shouldn't sell your franchise. You should vote the right candidate who will solve your problem permanently. Not somebody who will just give you something to eat or fish. Let him give you the fish and also teach you how to fish. And that person is already on ground. We all know him.
Well, we'll leave that to a personal opinion now.
Yes.
But let's look at the activities that have been playing around since the INEC released the timetable for the general elections. They are, like we said, aspirants are beginning to emerge. But there's something that's happening that most people feel is not healthy. Blackmail. See some candidates trying to blackmail the others. We've seen that played out among some of the presidential candidates. We see some political parties trying to come out with systems that might feel like disenfranchising other persons and they want to participate. For instance, some parties are trying to adopt the consensus style, while others are saying they don't want it. They don't want to be disengaged from that process. How do you look at this whole thing playing out now before we get to 2023?
Blackmail has always been politically inclined. I mean, once you are in politics, you should be prepared for blackmail. It has always been part of this politics. But this one that they are doing now is a little too defamatory and it's not too healthy. However, it's only the scared person that defames another. You understand? It's only the person who has skeleton in his cupboard that comes out first to say another has, so that before the other person wakes up from his sleep, he would have gone far. But defamation is not going to work. We all know the truth, like I said. Truths are already on table for everybody to see. We know the facts. We know those people who are the thieves. We know the people who are criminals. We know most of the defamatory statements they make. Nigerians are no longer fools. They've been in the system. They know what has been happening. You can only say things. You can come and say Mariam Bulldozer is a thief. It's just a speculation. But somebody will come and tell you she's not a thief. Or he may not even tell you. He may not defend her. But you quietly play high game. That's what we're going to experience.
But some persons are saying that it's kind of taking Nigeria backward. Our democracy is supposed to be matured enough to keep aside the issue of blackmail and ensure that we get the right person into politics, into governance.
It's not taking us backward per se. It's still teaching us politics, because Nigerians were yet to know what politics is all about. We think it's about defamatory statement or blackmails or fighting, arguing, and what have you. It's not about that. It's even time that people come out and say their manifesto during campaign instead of going house to house to bribe people. Let people know what you have or what you are bringing to table and listen to you, digest it, you understand, and see, and weigh it, of course, then take a decision.
Yeah, but we've seen manifestos in the previous elections. People come out, give manifestos on paper. But what is presented on the table is a different ballgame. Especially
because they are mostly not the ones that wrote the paper. They are those people are those that sat around them, know what the people want to hear, brought out their paper, and gave to the person to read out. He or she does not even know why she is fearing for that position.
Well, as beautiful as those manifestos sound,
yeah,
the implementation is quite something else.
That's what I'm saying, is because if you are the one that wrote your manifesto and you know what you want to offer, right? When you are given the opportunity, you should go back to your manifesto paper or whatever you wrote it and begin to pick. You would have written them according to preference or like the important in priority. What are you going to consider first? You go one after the other. But because you are not the one that wrote it, somebody wrote it for you, so you can come up and deceive people, and of course you will forget. Once you go into there, the same people who have written the manifesto for you will be the one that will rally around you and control you. They will just dump the manifesto for their own selfish interests. And that's why I said politics of 2023 has changed. You can see the declaration so far by all the candidates. You didn't see anybody bringing paper to the table, right? But you've seen a very unique style of declaration, for example, by the VP.
Well,
okay,
let's migrate from this very place. I want to take you back to women in politics.
Yeah.
Now we know insecurity is the major challenge. I'll put you on the scale now. If you are elected the president of Nigeria today, how do you intend to tackle insecurity? Talking from the side of women now, as a woman, if you're elected the president, do you think women or you have the ability to tackle insecurity?
Yes, you see, in everything about life, the most important thing is dialogue. And women have the patience to do that. 1. 2, these people who are doing these things are our children. We all know. They are children given birth to by women. And I can assure you, with the mother's prayers, nothing is impossible.
Oh, we've been seeing prayers all over the country.
I can assure you that without the prayers, without our prayers, right, maybe it would have been worse than this. We are hoping that the prayers will, in addition to our inputs, because they just sit in the House of Assembly, they don't say anything. We have so many 16-year candidates who have been there. They don't say anything. They just take it as a position that is theirs, like an inheritance they took. They don't even know why they are there. They don't say anything. You see very few people out of 300, out of 100 and something, only 2-3 people will be making noise. And I call it noise because nobody is listening. But let the women be there. You will see how things will change.
Well, I want to say very good thank you for being on the program this morning. Mariam Salihu Muhammad, she is a politician and an aspirant in one of the political parties.
You're excluding my main name.
Mariam Salihu Muhammad.
Bulldozer.
Bulldozer. Yeah, for those who know her very well, we understand that she is someone, when it comes to politics, regarding women participation, she's always there in the front burner. Very good morning to you, and we thank you so much for spending your time with us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break here. When we return, we'll have more discussion on the program.